History of Indian cricket from the time when the British expatriates from the East India Company formed the Calcutta Cricket Club in 1792 to the powerhouse we have become today. Let's take a look at this special report now.
It's no secret that the British brought the sport of cricket to India. British expatriates from the East India Company formed the Calcutta Cricket Club in 1792. It was 56 years later that the Parsis forged what is widely known to be the first Indian community-based cricket club, the Oriental Cricket Club. This paved the way for the Young Zoroastrians Club in 1850 and the Hindu Gymkhana in 1866. The Bombay Quadrangular Annual Cricket Tournament was established in 1882. Essentially, by the late 1800s, cricket paved its way into the hearts of Indians and the subcontinent and gave birth to one of Indian cricket's most influential figures, Shri Ranjit Singh Ji Vibhaji Jadeja, also known as Ranji. Born in Sadodar village in Navanagar, Ranji was an unorthodox batsman who became the first Indian to play international cricket. India's premier domestic first-class cricket championship set up by the BCCI in 1936, the Ranji Trophy, is played in his honour. The Board of Control for Cricket, or the BCCI itself, was established in pre-independent India on the 4th of December 1928, shortly after the Imperial Cricket Council admitted India as a full member and granted official Test match status. R.E. Grant Corbin was elected the first president of the BCCI and Anthony de Mello was the secretary. It took 4 years since admission for India to play its first Test match against England in 1932. The match was captained by C.K. Naidu at Lord's Cricket Ground in London, making Naidu our first ever captain. A year later, in 1933, Lala Amarnath became the first Indian batsman to score a Test century on his debut in a match against England at the Bombay Gymkhana. As the popularity of cricket continued to grow, the sport came to play a significant role in independent India's identity. A year after independence, India played its first Test match as an independent nation against the West Indies in Delhi on 10th November 1948. In 1951-52, India got a taste of Test match victory against England in Chennai under the captaincy of Vijay Hazare. India's first Test win on a foreign soil was against New Zealand in 1968 under the leadership of a young Tiger Pataudi. 2 years later, India registered its first series victory on foreign soil against West Indies in 1970-71. Donning white flannels and then the iconic blue jersey, independent India's first cricket team paved the path for our legends in blue, who over the years have continued to carry the legacy of cricket forward in our nation, making Team India a mighty force in international cricket. Bureau Report, NewsX.
All right, Sunil, how difficult it is, to be occupied by a country who has invented a particular game, master that game and beat that very same country when they have occupied you. And of course, I'm talking about the movie Lagan, but that's exactly how the history of cricket also pans out. What do you make of India basically superseding a number of nations at a time, when they were financially weak, they were weak in ways through which, sports and sports products and sports facilities can be better. And India still went on to play against all odds to defeat a number of adversaries back in the day. Something like, if basketball was invented in the United States, it would be like, a Russia or a China going to the United States and beating them, which is going to be a big deal. But India has done it multiple times.
You've just given me the most delicious question that I was waiting for in our lives. I'll tell you what. Semi-final, 1983, India playing in England. I think it was Turnberg Wills or I think one of the stadiums. David would correct me. India defeats England in the semi-final of the World Cup and then they take home the trophy. Well, this is where it started in a big way and it's never ceases to stop. And this is very important for India to defeat them year after year and whenever we have the choice, because now earlier it was they had the strength, the financial thing, everything put together. They invented the game. All right, good marks, full to them. But that can't be just the legacy here. It has to be a rolling kind of an honor. Now India has the muscle power, the players, the fans, the digital know-how, the might, everything. And I think it's time to get the home of cricket to India. That is what the big point is. Migrate it. I mean, it's not everyone's, their fiefdom. It's an honor, and the country which can do it. And remember, this is the same country that hosted 3 World Cup. Why? Because they were in power, they were in majority, they had the county thing, they had the financial muscle power, everything point to them. But now they have nothing. They don't even have their own coach. In fact, their own players go and coach outside their own country. So I think now that the match is almost over, we can safely say that please, we give the trophy to Australia, you give us the home of cricket tag. Thank you.
All right. Well, you've put it very eloquently. That is true. India has mastered this game, Mr. Chaudhary. Do you think that India has not only mastered it, but it's also come a long way in terms of governing it in such a way that other countries have also started to look upon us, because you know where we stand when it comes to the ICC?
I think big plus with India or BCCI is our domestic structure and other facilities. They're outstanding. Our domestic matches, you go to any game, hotels, travel, it is like international match. So the facilities they provide to all the players, coaches, now every team has physio, doctor, trainers. It is very professional, and I'm observing from last 10-15 years at least. I think it is just result of that. We have 29 or 30 international grounds where you can have a match of notice
We've
of
almost
just
run
one
out of
week.
time. Sunil, you have a question. Go ahead.
2 things. How many international stadiums that England has created in the last 40 years, David? Point number 2, David, if you can hear me, you've created a new version of it. You've created a new version of it which nobody goes to and nobody buys a team in. That franchisee called Hundreds. Now, what on earth? Who created and who was having what when they created this? I want to know that.
Well, I'm not going to answer that because I don't like to intrude on private grief within the English and Wales Cricket Board. All the people that have invented it have all now decamped elsewhere, like someone who'd never seen an accident except in their rear-view mirror. But if you go back to 2003, the T20 game was created by Terry Blake, just now, and Stuart Robertson, the marketing team at the English and Wales Cricket Board.
Oops.
So the T20 game, and I was at Channel 4 at the time. I funded the research that led to the creation of T20. Guess what it said? People prefer to watch a game that they can see after work rather than during work. It wasn't rocket science. And but the way in which India's taken it on with that other gentleman called Modi, was it Lalit Modi, who's now in exile? Oh, he's in London.
All right. David, unfortunately, we've run out of time. Hate to cut you short, but we've run out of time. We're going to dip into a short break. There's more to talk about on the other side. Be right back.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.